insurrection. Nobody was charged. Again, one more time. Nobody charged with insurrection. Trump acquitted of inciting an insurrection, which again, nobody was charged with. Talk about nebulous definition. He says, I'm playing word games. Meanwhile, he takes time today, all day, to assemble a 4-point, this is my definition, completely based on some other guy on the internet, which is crazy to me, right? This is Destiny's personal definition of what this means. And it clearly fits 3 of the criteria for rioting right off the gate. We only had an issue with 2. And then when we apply these, and remember my opening statement, I said in my opening statement, this is going to become very broad, right? There's no way that we're not going to be able to call all sorts of things insurrections that clearly are not insurrections. We come up with the idea of what if a bunch of dope smoking hippies all show up with the united purpose of smoking dope on federal land in order to resist the federal law. And then a couple of them start a fire and one gets beaten up with a baseball bat or something like this. Suddenly that's an insurrection. Clearly, nobody would think that that was an insurrection. Clearly, nobody would think that that's a completely unreasonable standard, right? But it's the Destiny standard. And the reason, again, that he had to have such a broad definition, the reason that he needed this, and he needed me to come in and give him some definition he could do an internal critique on, is because his idea that this was an insurrection is only there specifically to villainize the opposition for the purposes of demonization, so that when bad things happen to them, he can call them traitors. That's it. That's the whole game. It's been his whole game now for a while. And this is what got him on Piers and all these other things, which I recently reviewed, was that take. And so in order for him to justify that take, he has to make you a traitor because you don't believe that that was an insurrection that nobody was charged with.
Okay, 2:15. Guys, that was fucking fantastic discussion. Obviously, people are going to have different viewpoints on where they go, but that's, I think, the beauty of any discussion like this in debate, that good debate always has people with different viewpoints saying like, oh, I think this guy did better, I think this guy did better. So great discussion from both. I am going to open up the phone lines right now. I think the number is going to be Block Talk, Bills?
Yeah.
So guys, the number is going to be 505-605-9740.
Welcome to Block Talk Radio.
Yeah, I still remember, yeah. But yeah, so that is going to be the phone number, guys, to call into the show. You can interact with us, whether it's me, Destiny, or Andrew.
So now, press 1 to hear him.
Your show is scheduled to start in 33 seconds.
And you just, and Andrew, how do you normally run this? 505-605-9740. That's the number to call in, guys. Again, that number.
Usually just whoever calls in, they have a single question, you answer the question, and then move on to the next caller. Maybe like a 30-second, very quick back and forth, so you can get to as many callers as possible. Yeah. Usually that's how I do it.
Okay, no, that's cool, because we're gonna.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Block Talk Radio.
Okay, so guys, the number to call in is 505-605-9740. Again, that number is 515-605-9740. We're manning the phone lines here at Fresh and Fit. So if you call in, if you super chat, we'll go ahead and put you at the top of the list. Get you in there faster. As usual, super chat with the last 4 digits of your number. And I think we just open up the line. Okay, so do we have anyone on now? I know we literally just opened them, but...
yeah, we do.
Okay, so as usual, guys, normal rules. If you want to skip the line, super chat the last 4 digits of your numbers in, and we will go ahead and get you on the line. Let's go ahead and hit the first caller here.
We got 6327, you're up. 6327, you're up.
Go ahead, 6327. And I'm going to be hosting a Zoom call after this, guys. Andrew, if you don't mind, drop it in on Castle Club after this.
Of course.
Awesome.
At your service. Thank you so much for hosting this, and you guys coming in on your day off is very kind to be.
Too, if you want to jump in and talk to my.
Hey, you guys ready for me?
But yeah, go ahead. But we'll do calls for a bit, and then we'll switch on over to Castle Club. And I appreciate you guys doing that for me. If you guys want to, thank you, Andrew. And if you want to come in, Destiny, awesome. We got someone on the line, right?
Yeah.
Okay, brother. Tell us your name, where you're from, and hit us with your question.
My name's Rick from Miami, Florida. The question is for Andrew. Very frustrating on his side to see the debate on his side, so I really do need an answer of what his definition is for an insurrection.
Are you asking me my definition?
Andrew's.
I'm not going to give you one. It's not my burden.
I feel like that's the cop out. Okay, that's
No,
all.
well, then you need to learn how to debate, because you not knowing how to debate doesn't mean that I'm copping out. It's not my position. The affirmative position, the person calling people insurrectionists, is not me.
Wait, how are we supposed to have a debate on if January 6th was an insurrection if you don't even have a definition of insurrection?
Why do I need to have a definition to note that whatever definition that you could come up with would be too broad to apply to this? That's not a logical statement either, Destiny.
No, what,
No,
Yeah, hold on one second.
wait, hold on.
he came in with some facts. He came in with some points, but you didn't.
Okay. Andrew, do you want to respond to him on that, or?
I think we missed like 30.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We were having an exchange. I missed the actual question.
No, I think his main criticism is he wants to know what your definition of insurrection is. Is that correct, caller?
Correct.
Yeah, it's not my burden.
Point on his definition of an insurrection.
It's not my burden.
Which way to not answer that kind of a definition of question, and he's using the words "it's not my burden" to cop out of that definition question.
Okay, why? How is it my burden?
Feels an insurrection.
So let me ask you a question, caller. Okay, let's assume for a second I didn't know what murder was, and you were trying to give me the criteria for what murder was. Could I logically give you a criticism for why that actually would fit something else that I do know what it is better than the idea of murder? Do you understand that, caller?
Yes.
Well, then what is your criticism?
What you're asking me is, I think what you're asking me is if something that you think fits another definition, would you be able to apply to that definition? And you could.
No, that's not what I'm asking you.
You're not providing an actual argument to that. Like, all you're saying is, well, this could fit something else. But you're not saying...
No, I'm giving what's called an internal critique. An internal
Here.
critique doesn't necessitate an argument.
Hold on, this
So
doesn't make sense.
you
The
can
question,
give an internal criticism.
if the debate has to do with whether or not a person was murdered, if that's the debate, was John murdered, and the entire debate is just you critiquing another person's definition of murder, but you're unwilling to put forth your own definition of murder, the implication is that you were never prepared to debate the actual topic of the debate, which is if somebody
That's not
was
the
murdered.
implication. That doesn't even make any sense. So, Destiny, let me ask you a counter question.
My argument is that is arguing in bad faith.
Okay,
That's not.
thank
Not
you.
only is that not arguing in bad faith, it's arguing in the best faith.
No, okay,
That's-
wait, what is the-
Destiny knew for sure that he had the burden, not me.
That's this thing. Next call. Let's get the next call.
Oh no! Wait! Real quick! Hold on, because this has to be answered. Hold on. How could you possibly deal with the topic if you don't have a definition of insurrection?
Well, let's try. I was just getting to that. So let me ask you, Destiny. Let us assume for a second that you weren't sure exactly what murder meant. You weren't exactly sure what the criteria was. Another person was calling this group of people a murderer, right? You had kind of an idea maybe of what that was. And so you went to them and you said, okay, can you tell me what you mean by murder? And they gave you some other criteria that fit way better with something other than their definition of murder. Why would that be illogical or in any way unreasonable?
That's not illogical and that's not unreasonable, but that would only mean that you would be successful if the debate was, is Destiny's definition of insurrection satisfactory insofar as defining January 6th as an insurrection? That wasn't the debate topic.
As
It
long
wasn't
as it
just
fits-
my definition of insurrection.
Yeah, it
the debate was, okay, wait. So how can do you agree that the prompt of the debate was January 6th an insurrection?
Yeah, why does that mean that I
How
have
can
to...
you answer that? Wait, do you not have to answer
Yes.
the prompt to a debate?
Yeah, so I'm not taking... I'm neutral on it. It could have been. I was willing to...
Oh, you have
concede
no
that.
position?
I was willing to concede that it could have been. I said right in my opening, in good faith, I'll make concessions based under A, B, and C criteria if he can make these demonstrations. You never did.
Okay, so then just to be clear then, just so we're all... So the prompt for the debate was January 6th an insurrection? And I came in with a positive and you came in with no position.
No, it wasn't no position. It was that it's possible that it was. It's possible that it wasn't.
That's no
And I
position.
was willing to hear you. No, it's a neutral position. That's not no position.
That's no
Neutral
position.
is a
If somebody's
position.
looking... Okay.
I'm sorry, is neutral not a position?
Not really, no.
Oh, no, not really. Does that mean no or yes, Destiny? Is neutral a position or isn't it?
For the purposes of having a debate, no.
Oh, for the purposes of having a debate, you can't have a neutral position. Destiny,
somebody hosted
Stephen
a debate-
Mondale III, the best leftist debater on planet Earth, ladies and gentlemen. Neutral on a debate topic is not a position.
Not to have as a debater. That's correct. If there was a debate saying, is God real? And one person shows up and say, I'm arguing the affirmative. God is real. And the other person says, I'm a neutral position on that. Yeah,
Oh, I
it
guess
could be
you've
a good
never.
debate.
Debated with an agnostic before, who's neutral. They're
Not in a
neutral on it.
debate on what... That would be a debate on agnosticism or Gnosticism,
No,
not a
it
debate
would
on
be a
whether or not
debate on
God
if
is
God
real
is
or not real.
Why couldn't you go into a debate agnostic about God being real or not real, Destiny? Can you explain that real quick?
Because definitionally, an agnostic doesn't take a position on or doesn't think they can have knowledge of the
They do
existence
take a
of
position.
God.
They take a
They don't
neutral
have a
position.
knowledge of God. So why would you debate a Gnostic person or somebody, an
That
agnostic
makes-
person, or
that
somebody on
makes no sense.
Gnosticism who doesn't have a position on the existence
Oh,
of God exists or
so
not?
agnostics can't have a neutral position about whether or not God exists or not.
You wouldn't
according
listen
to
to a
Stephen Von
debate
Elber.
somebody, a person who's agnostic, you wouldn't listen to the debate on whether or not God is real or not. They would say, oh, well, I can't have information about the existence of God. And you go, okay, well, I guess you wouldn't have this
Oh,
debate.
well, then I guess 50% of the debates on modern day debate are incorrect because people have a neutral position, an agnostic position, like Matt Dillahunty, a guy you talk to, about whether or not God is real. Where Matt Dillahunty says, listen, I'm agnostic on it. He could be real. You just haven't demonstrated to me that he's real. Matt Dillahunty's wrong in all of those debates, right, Destiny?
He would be if that was the prompt of the debate. Yes, if the prompt of the debate was, is God real or not real?
I'm
And you
doing the
come in and you
triangle.
go,
I'm doing
oh,
the triangle.
You come in and you go, oh, well, I'm agnostic. Then you go, okay, well, why the fuck are you in this debate? You don't have a position on it. Then bring in somebody that feels an atheist who wants to have a strong position of like he's not real, and then a theist who has a strong position he is real.
That makes no sense. You can still have a neutral position. That's absurd. I don't know. How in the world are you the world's best leftist debater if you don't know you can take a neutral position? in
This
this
is like
debate?
saying you want to have a debate between two people between who is God or what is God, and one person is Catholic and the other person is an atheist. This is a nonsense position. Everybody knows this. This is like a debate game.
Oh, everybody knows it,
This
so
is a
it's
debate
true.
game, yeah.
Just like everybody knows it's an insurrection, even though they can't charge
I didn't
anybody
say
with
everybody has
insurrection.
insurrection. That's what the historical record says is insurrection. But.
Okay. So what I'll do here is we'll move to the next caller here. Let's Mo, you got it up?
5584, you're up. 5584, you're up.
All right. Welcome.